Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ladies of Sosa podcast. My name is Sada.
And my name is Christine.
Today, we have a special episode featuring an author from our continent of Africa. And she is going to be discussing her journey coming from Guinea and migrating to the United States and kind of like the trials and triumphs of that. Also, like her journey, like what she's been through back home as far as like your early life, like marriage, all of that. So we're going to get into some of like what she has detailed in her book. Her book is called My Early Life, which is simply like what made her who she is today and some of the trials that she went through. Before we do that, we want to go ahead and introduce the panel.
So our special guest today is Fatima Barry. So we're very excited to have her, but I'm going to go around the table and we can introduce ourselves, starting with Janet.
Mm-hmm. My name is Janet O'Corkin, and I am so happy to be here.
Yay. Yeah, I'm Rugi Barry, and I'm here with my aunt today, the special guest who wrote a book, so I'm excited to be back.
Yay!
Hi, my name is Fatima Barry. I'm excited to be here to talk about my early life, my book.
Thank you. Excited to have you.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Faida. Good to be back.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Junubin. My name is KK Koyam. Good to be back.
We're happy to have you.
For
a long time.
Long time.
Shout out to Edward. Since the 6 shoes he has on today that are gonna get robbed.
Yeah.
And you guys can see the whole fit, but we're gonna get to Edward. Go ahead, Willie. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Willie.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Fresh Prince, go ahead.
First one is I'm speaking. Was good, y'all. It's Edward Meatree was cracking. Was good. Nothing too much to do it. But yeah, I'm excited. Glad to be back. And with amazing people, too. Everyone looks so good in here. Oh.
Yeah. Excited to have you.
Happy to have you. All right, let's go ahead and get into the book, My Early Life. So, first, just starting off, what inspired you to say, I want to write a book and detail the life, my early life and like what I've been through? Because it's not easy to be vulnerable and talk about your experiences, especially as Africans, because a lot of times the things that we talk about, people might consider it like taboo or why are you exposing this or it's controversial. But what made you like brave enough to go ahead and detail your life in writing?
Yeah. First of all, when I came to this country, I was always wanted to write a book because I said to myself, when I come here, I know there's a lot of opportunity in this country. I'm going to be going to school, and one day I'm going to sit down and write my book. So when I came here, I take ESL classes, reading and writing classes. So I didn't go so many times to school. I mean, if you read the book, you're going to see the book have a little accent inside, but that's my word because I have a lot of accent because when you're a child, you never gone to school. So you're taking only ESL classes here. It's going to be a little bit hard to pronounce the word the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
But I decided to write it on my way. So I use Google a lot. So I thank Google for that. So I take a notebook. One day I was sitting with the person I work for. So I do like home care. I was sitting next to the lady. I told her I want to write the book one day. Say, oh yeah, you do? Okay, you go ahead, Fatima. So I start writing the book she had a husband. The husband said, if you write your book, I will look at it and edit it and see. If it's good, then maybe we can help you, show you someone who can edit the book. So I said, okay. So it took me 1 year to write the book. Because every time I have to come spell with Google. If I have time, I just come and sit down and Google it and then say the word. The way I say the word and my way, it doesn't show me that way. It shows me different way. I have to keep repeating the same thing until Google understand what I'm saying.
Right.
Because the accent and the word, saying the word is different the way you pronounce it. So it took me a lot of time to write the book, but I didn't give up.
Take us back to your early life. Where were you born? What was your family like? What was your origin story?
Okay. First of all, my mom went to visit her family in Senegal. I was born in Senegal on the road. So my mom was pregnant, and then she went to visit the family. She decided to go back home, and then she take a taxi. So she was going home at the road. She gave me birth on the road.
Wow.
Yeah, so they end up, the taxi driver have to stop, and then they're gonna find a blanket and then put me in the blanket, and then to return where my mom used to live.
Yeah.
So we returned there with a little baby, and imagine you say goodbye to the family, and then maybe an hour you come back with a baby crying. So we came back. Everybody was excited. They did the baby ceremony name, stuff like that. So they named me Fatima. So they have like a cousin over there. You know, African culture. They go like, oh, my mom, sister have son. So they say, oh, the lady asked for my mom, this child is born here. So now when she grow up, can we have her, my son, to marry her? So my mom say yes. She accept. So they say, okay. So we stayed there for a little bit. Then we return home. I have one sister and one brother. And we returned to my dad. When we returned to my dad, we stayed there like until I was like 1 year, 2 years. My mom gave birth to another child. Giving birth to that child, my mom passed away. So they have to like keep the child, but the child didn't survive either. In a week, the child died too. Yeah, so I end up staying with my brother and my sister and my dad together. My dad used to have a lot of farm, like he used to make a lot of potato and bananas. That's the one we sell them to the market, and my dad buy food, we come home. But my dad decided one day she's gonna get married to another wife. So she get married to another wife. That wife came when she had a child. I mean, I'm the one was like my dad fever all the time. But when that child come, somebody have to take my place. So it was not easy. So my dad ended up sending me to the capital.
Yeah, so she's from the village in Guinea, which is Yembering, which is like, a smaller, like, I don't know how Sudan is, but like in Guinea, they have like the big cities, and then they have like the smaller villages, which are like more poor. And so once her mom passed, and her dad got a second wife and then didn't have money, he wanted a better life for her.
Yeah, my dad sent me, he said, go to these people until I come back. He was going to travel to Senegal too, because he used to travel to Senegal all the time. So sending me over there, I didn't want to go, because even though we don't have anything, I really wanted to stay with my dad. But he just tell me, please go. I can find you when I come back. So he take me. But the day we were going to separate, it's like something is telling me I'm never going to see him back again. So that was like something very, very hard.
One of the things in Guinea, so she was sent to my grandma. So she's my aunt, but my grandma adopted her. So she's my mom's little sister through adoption. But in Guinea, usually if you are like living in the village in a poorer family, sometimes they will give you up to someone in the city because they can't afford you. Like, they'll still be your dad, but basically that's what her dad did, is sent her to my grandma because he couldn't really like to help to get her in the city, and then also to help. But then they adopt you almost kind of like a helper, but not like a maid, but to come in and kind of help in the house. So I just want to clarify that. So that's why her dad sent her, because he had gotten another wife and he didn't really like the money to like take care of her and stuff. So that's why she was sent to my grandma.
Okay. How old were you when you?
5.
5. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I still remember the day though, because that day I wake up early in the morning. I mean, at night I didn't sleep because I know in the morning my dad was gonna go. I didn't sleep all night. I was like waiting to say goodbye to him. You know, in Africa, you just put the fire in the house, right? You put the wood. You make sure it's a fire, so you know, no electricity at that time. So I used to put one wood. When that one is finished, I wait until that one is finished, and I put the second one. And when that one is finished, I put the third one. I didn't put them all together as a young child. I mean, even me right now, I just don't know why I did like that. Because maybe God just give me that mind to do it that way. So I keep doing that all night until in the morning, my dad say, "Oh my God, this girl didn't sleep all night yesterday because he doesn't want me to leave without saying goodbye."
Mhm.
So we end up eating breakfast together. And then everybody said, "Okay, we're going to go to the mountain because there's a lot of mountain in my country, in the village. We're going to go sit over there, wait for his friend." Finally, we wait his friend over there. And then everybody left. I was behind. I sit over there until I stopped seeing my dad because he was walking. So when I came to the capital, Conakry.
Conakry, which is the capital of Guinea.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
she, like I said, she was from Yemben, like the smaller town, and her dad dropped her off to his friend to take her to the capital.
Okay.
So she's saying she sat and watched her dad walk off. She sat there until her dad walked off, basically.
That's so sad.
Mhm.
I know.
That's really sad.
Yeah.
You say it so matter of fact, but it just sounds really sad hearing it back. Like there's just kind of like the realization
Mhm.
that you're gonna have to be away from your father.
Mhm.
How did you feel about that? I mean, I'm sure you were young, you were 5, but as an adult, did you ever like unpack that, like having to be away from your dad so early?
Yeah.
Or even him saying that he will find you and you not knowing when that's going to happen or how that's going to happen. Did that give you any anxiety, like as a kid? I know as a kid, that's kind of overwhelming, not knowing when you're going to see your father again or what's going to happen to you from here on out.
When we separated, because he said he was going to come for me all the time when I'm sad or something. They just tell me, "Okay, I know you want to see your dad, but he's going to come for you." They keep telling me that as age 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I was 12, I realized why he's not coming back all the time. I'm waiting for him. So I have that hope maybe he will show up one day.
Mhm.
So he's going to come. Just let me just be patient. I mean, I wanted to go to school, but they didn't put me in school, but they teach me a lot of stuff to do in this life. So I'm so grateful for that. But I wanted to be in school. I used to sneak and then go. I know one neighbor over there. I used to sneak and then go. Nobody know about this, even her grandma. I used to sneak and go and ask this guy, "Please, I need your help. Can you teach me how to write just my name?" Because I used to have a lot of friends. They go to school all the time. In the morning, they pass me and go. I really wanted to go, but they didn't put me. But I was not the only one. It was another girl too. She didn't go either. She lost both her parents too. We grew up together, yeah. So, I mean, we were sitting there. We saw our friend go to school, but we didn't. So me, they didn't know all the time. Sometimes when I disappeared on that compound, they just go, "Where's Fatima?" And they, "Oh, she's at her friend." But I'm just went there. The guy always told me, "Oh, spell your name. It's F. It starts with F." So I put that on my head, F, 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 F all the time. I get the pencil and write it. So at age 13, I already know how to write my name. And then most of the time, I say to my head, when I grow up, inshallah, I will study. I will go to school, even though I have to pay anything to just know how to read and write. I will do it because it was my dream. That was my dream.
Which is why she wrote this book, because unfortunately, when she was, it was kind of like, I don't want to say like a trade, but for her to be raised by my grandparents, she had to be the person there to, help like around the house and things like that. But in order for, because her dad couldn't afford to basically keep her. But she always wanted to go to school, and my grandparents unfortunately didn't send her because it was like she was there to live there, but to also help around the house, you know, which is unfortunate. And she did ask to be sent, but that just wasn't the case. Yeah. And so it was always her dream to learn how to read and write, and she never got that opportunity to learn how to do that, you know.
And you read the book, Rugi.
Yeah.
And you're in the, you grew up in the diaspora.
Yeah.
So it's kind of there's like kind of a drastic difference between like how we grew up and how someone from like another generation grew up.
Yeah.
How do you feel like the book can relate to the diaspora? What were some of the things, like the points of her life that you could probably relate to, even though you may not have had the exact same life,
same thing?
you know?
Yeah, I think. Well, first of all, like when I was 4, I was sent back for the first time to Guinea, and she raised me for like 6 months. And then I came back, and then when I was 6, I went back again. It in that way, I kind of feel like it was kind of the same, because I felt kind of like that maybe abandonment also from my parents. From like 6 to 8, I was sent to Guinea to live there and to live with family out there because they wanted us to, you know, it's kind of part of the cultural thing where sometimes they will send their kids away for, it's normal a lot of times in Guinea. Like I said, if kids in the village, they may send them away or to go live for a better life.
I think that's a thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, can't speak for all of Africa, but I think even in South Sudan, too.
Especially if someone passes away.
Yeah.
Like my dad grew up with his cousins. My grandfather took over the responsibility of raising them because his brother died. So,
yeah. Or even if like you have an uncle that's still alive, if the other uncle can afford to put them in school or they're in a better location, sometimes it's like just go live with your uncle for a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that's common.
Yeah, it's common. Yeah. So I would say in that way we relate, because I know my parent, it was different. Like I was sent there, I still went to school and everything like that. But I also was like kind of sent away for a little bit, you know, to go live in Africa. And so I know it's like and I understand why, like when I read her book, it made me feel bad, because it's like, I understood why my grandma did it, but I also felt like my grandma should have maybe sent her to school, you know, but I understand why. It's just part of the culture, you know what I mean? Like,
okay.
School is expensive, right? Do they have to pay for school?
No, at that time you don't have to pay the school.
Oh, okay.
They have a government school. You go. I mean, you don't pay for it. But I know the reason why maybe they didn't put me there, because I mean, like they wanted somebody to help in the house. Yeah. So that's the part of it, because I was not the only one over there. It was like 3 girls over there too. So we all came to help in the house. So especially me, I know how to do a lot of stuff, because as a young child, like I can say at 8, I know how to cook. You know, African culture, we cook a lot of food, right? So I know how to prepare a lot of food. At that age, I started cooking at 8. So when I become 13, they even travel to the village. They leave me over there with the big family. I used to go to the market and then buy all the grocery and then come make a big food for everybody, a huge food for everybody. So I mean, at a certain point, even though I didn't go to school, I always like proud to learn how to deal with a lot of people, a big family, and then to become a better person all the time. Because I know at age 13, that's how I was waiting for my dad to come, like see me, visit me. But that time it was no cell phone. It was no like telephone to the village, to the capital. They just write you a letter. They just said, the letter come. I was like, that day, I don't know, something was telling me something bad happened. But as a child, you always expecting good thing. So when they bring the letter, they just read the letter. They just said, oh, inside the letter, dad passed away. But they didn't want to mention that day At the same time, they didn't want to maintain that on the daytime. They just wait until at night. Sorry.
Sorry.
I mean, at night, they just asked me a question. Did you eat? I say yes. They said,
I hate when she does this.
sorry. I didn't want to cry. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
They just tell me, your dad was gonna come, but he got sick, and then he just died. I say, oh. I just sit down. I never forgot that day because I was sitting like, okay. I was thinking, deep thinking, and everybody was crying in the house because everybody know how I all the time talk about my dad, how I love him. They just said, are you not crying? I said, no. They said, wow. I just sit there and I was not crying. Everybody was crying. And then everybody went to sleep. I know at night, I never sleep until in the morning. I was crying. When I wake up in the morning, I was not really good. But the mother who raised me just tell me, okay, this is the point now. You lost your dad. Your dad was going to come pick you up, but now it's gone. It's up to you. If you want to go back, it's fine. We're going to send you back. That's fine. But if you want to stay with us, you can still stay here. So we take care of you. So I said, now I cannot respond that question. I'll think about it. So we went to the village to see the family. And then when we went, my dad write 3 letters, give it to each, my aunt, his brother, and another sister. He write the same thing in the letter. I said, just this child, I sent him long time ago. I don't want her to come back here. Because I know when she come back, she doesn't have nobody to take care of her. Okay, this family, they can have her if they want to. But if they don't want to, they can bring her back. That's fine. So they give them the letter. All the letters say the same word. So they read the letter and then they said, oh, finally, this is what your dad said in the letter. So it's up to you if you want to stay here or if you want to come back with us. So I said, I think I want to come back with you guys. So since that time, I decided to become a better person because my brother is already left because he was not getting along with my stepmother. And then my sister also get married to an old guy. So I looked at that situation. If I go back, the same thing gonna happen to me. So I decided to come back at least to the capital. I can be there. Maybe I decide what I do when I grow up.
So your story, I feel like, is a story that is very common across the African diaspora for children who have lost their parents at an early age. Did you ever think that one day you would be able to make it to America? From that tragedy happening, how did you end up where you are today?
The lady who raised me used to have a lot of brothers. They all have children. So in the weekend, the children used to come there to stay. Sometime when vacation come, they come stay there. Or sometime like on Friday, they come stay there until like sometime a week, sometime a month, they stay there with us. So I used to braid their hair and I used to take care of them and I used to feed them. And I think that even helped a lot me to be here. Because when this is I call her my sister, the lady who raised me, her daughter. When she came to Guinea, she'd be like, Mom, please let me take this girl to United States.
Which is my mom.
That's Riggy's mom.
Yes. Yeah. So my mom said, no, I don't want her to go because she's the only one I have in this house, do everything the right way I want it. So she keep begging them, please, mom, please, mom. Finally, I know mom didn't say yes, but Papa said yes. Papa said, let her go. You never know. Just let her go. So I know that looked like a dream to me, because the day they tell me, she didn't even mention anything about America. She just tell me we have appointment, we're going to see someone. We was gonna go to see somebody to help me about passport things. So when we get there, they were talking like about passport thing and everything. That's how I just hear about America. I was like, oh, America. Maybe they're just talking about America, but it's not a something. So on the way home, they just mentioned, my mom just tell me, oh, your sister said she want to take you to United States. I was like sitting in the back of the car. I was like, what? I asked her twice, are you will understand what you're telling me? And then she said, yes. She said that she want to take you to United States. So I said, okay. I said, wow. The only thing I just said, I said, can I go back to the village? Because I wanted to see my sister before I leave, and then my grandma, because my grandma used to be a blind lady. When I was a child, I remember all the time me and Dad, we used to go to her. And then I used to be with her a lot. So I know I wanted to go see them before I go anywhere. So I ended up going there. My mom said, yes, you can go. So I went to the village to see my sister and then stay a week. And then I came back to the capital and then get ready to come to United States.
So what was the time difference? So you said you went to the capital at age 5.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you come to America?
I came to America, I know when Dad passed away. I don't remember exactly the time, but I've been here quite a while now.
So like
I
teenage?
think she was like 20.
No. I think it was like, not 20. I can say 17 or 18. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she came to stay with your family, Rugi?
Yeah, so like she mentioned, she was the one that would take care of everyone's kids.
Mm-hmm.
And when my parents sent me and my siblings to go live in Africa, when my parents came back, well, obviously, like, they work here all the time and stuff. And initially, one of my other cousins was going to come here to help my parents out, basically to help take care of us, because they had like opposite schedules and it was hard for my parents to like be able to take care of us on their own. But my mom was really like drawn to her because she felt like she just knew like they were close, and then she just did so much. So my mom didn't want to ask my grandma if she could come because, as she mentioned, she did everything in the house. But she finally asked, and she brought her here basically to kind of help with raise us, basically.
Can I ask you too, because you said you were sent back to Guinea for 2 years to live there, so you were able to see kind of the living situation back home. A lot of young girls don't have the opportunity to go to school in Africa. We talk about that a lot on the podcast. What can you, I guess, tell us about the difference? Like, that could have been your life if your parents didn't end up coming to America. The difference between what it's like for young girls back home versus here. Did you ever look back and think, wow, I'm very grateful, or just anything like that? The parallels between like the two generations.
Yeah, I would say, it is such a different like world out there, because a lot of times, you know, you have to kind of be like a more stable family as far as like income wise to be able to, even though school may be free, if your family is poor, then you need everyone to work. Like even the kids, you might need them to be outside selling mangoes and fruits while you're, you know, so because of that, not everyone can go to school, you know what I mean? Or in different situations where, like for her, like with her dad being, you know, poor, at least he felt like even if though she might not go to school in the village, at least she'll have a little bit more opportunities in the capital, you know. My parents, my mom and my family was a little bit more like, I guess if you want to say stable, like my mom did go to school. So I do think like I would have been, but even when we went back, like even my cousins that live there now, they go to the governmental schools, you know, versus like when I lived there for those 2 years, we were able to go to like a private school because my parents were in America and they paid for us to go to private school out there, you know, but the schools are not as, they may be advanced, but it's just a different lifestyle, you know. It's kind of like school may be free, but can you afford to go to school? Meaning like, do you have to work to support your family versus?
Do you think that's why child marriage is more like prevalent? Because I know she mentioned something about, I don't know if you said your sister or someone had to marry like an old guy and you didn't want that same thing for yourself. Is that kind of a big factor as to why some families might kind of push their young daughters?
Yeah.
I can respond to that.
Yeah, you can respond to that.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, when you lost your parent in Africa, either they give you an older husband because they want to just get over you, because they don't want to keep you. They don't want to get responsible for you. So they don't care how you go. Because I remember I just 13 when my dad passed, I went to see my sister before, like, because we went to see the family.
The funeral.
Yeah, the funeral thing. I was like seeing my sister very miserable with that guy. With one child, she got involved, one child, a girl. It was like tough for her. The old guy have money. I mean, he sell a lot of stuff, but even the food, to give her food with the child, oh my God, she couldn't eat anything in the morning. So I went to stay with her for 2 days. She couldn't have something to cook for us to eat. So that's why when they asked me that question, do you want to stay? I put my mind on that situation. I said, imagine this one is married, she have a child, right? Imagine she's not even having something to eat. At least me, when I go back, I have something to eat. So I decided one day, if I have money, I'm going to help this sister. I'm going to help her. So when I came to the capital, anytime they give me money as a child, I keep saving the money, send it to her. Because I just want to see her having something to eat.
Why was it that she didn't have enough to buy food if her husband was doing well? Was the husband doing well?
Yeah, but he was not like a nice guy.
Oh,
And
okay.
unfortunately, her sister, you know, her sister was in one of those marriages where both her parents died and the stepmom just married her off to an older man. He had money and it was kind of like, because he has money, he can help them out, but he was not nice to her and didn't help feed her or anything like that. And that does happen a lot, you know, where you'll get married. Even when she did go back, her uncle wanted her to marry, right? Your uncle wanted you to marry.
Yeah, when I go back because when I found out I was going to come to the United States, I went back to the village to say hello to the family and then say bye to my grandma, because that was the main thing, me to go there. So when I went, I wrote that in the book though. When I went, the first time my dad brothers tell me, oh, you're here now. Now you're not going back. You're going to stay here and get married. I have one of my son. He's going to choose which one he want to get married, you and your cousin. It's a two cousin over here. She's going to choose which one she want to get married. And then from that, you're not going back. You're not going back at all.
Yeah.
And then he had 3 sons. And then he just keep asking them, watch out for her. I don't want her to run away. I don't want her to go back. They just keep putting their eyes on me. So I went for 1 week. I couldn't get out to the house. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't go anywhere. I just I was in the prison, because anywhere I want to go, somebody is behind me. Where you going? Where you going?
Yeah.
Yes.
And in Guinea, you can also, we're Muslim, so you can marry your cousin, you know, and that's another situation that happens, you know, where it's like, okay, then we're going to keep you in the family and we're going to trap you. So her uncle was like, you're going to marry one of my kids, even though it's her first cousin. But because we're Muslim and because in Guinea it's normal, it's either, since her dad and mom are gone, it's kind of like he's the next person that she has to listen to, you know? So they do that a lot when you're unfortunately like in a poorer family or something, and especially if your parents are no longer there, you know, they just want to take you and either marry you off to an older rich guy or maybe to a family member or, you know, whoever's gonna come to just take you off their hands or, you know, or be an asset to them in a way.
I think that's similar to South Sudan as well, where like getting an education for girls is kind of a privilege. If you don't have money, if you come from a family that doesn't have a lot of like socioeconomic status, then you're probably going to get married off, and that's where child marriage comes into play. So I think that's a thing. I can't say for all of Africa,
I don't
but
think
at
the
least
cousin thing is a thing.
Oh yeah, the cousin part,
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. The cousin thing is also, like I said, a Muslim thing, because in the Quran you are allowed to marry your cousin.
Right.
But also it's culturally also in Guinea they push it even more, you know.
Yeah.
But now it changed a little bit.
It's changed now more, like, you know, things have started to change more, like even with you know, in Guinea they used to do female mutilation and even things like that. They have changed a lot, you know, as times have gone on, you know. So,
and I know you said that you were sending money even like from being a child back home, and I watched your interview that you did where you said that till this day you still send money back home, like to your family, to help them out. And for the book, I know you wrote the book because you wanted to help your family have clean drinking water. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, the book, I wrote that inside because when I went to the village, people suffer for drinking water. So they always go to the river to get some water, and the water is not clean. So I decided to write this book. And when I write any money I sell this book, I keep the money. So finally, I did one well already. Yeah. So I saved the money. It was like $3,000. So I sent the $3,000. They dig the well, and then the people having drinking water, especially the neighbor, everybody come there to get water. So because when I went there on 2011, I went back home. I really suffered to go get the water on the river. Because you go there, the cow is there, a lot of animals come there to drink that water. And it's a far away, it's 1 hour walk to get the water. So I put the bucket on my head. Before I get where we live, it was really hard. So I decided, and let me do something about this. But when I read the book, I sell the book for like that kind of money because I get chance. People invite me. People talk about my book, and I sell it on Amazon Prime. So people was sending me money about the book and then say, oh, I read your story, it's so good. This is what you want to do. So some people, when they send me, I save the money. It was $3,000 and I send it. But at the same time, I want to help more them to have drinking water. And my dream is like to build a school, especially on that village. The children gonna go to school. If I can afford that, yeah, I will do that. And also, this book, I know I wanna like somebody to play movie with it. I even talk about it in Africa with one guy. But my dream is like is to play a movie. So I wanna see the young generation to take opportunity, especially if you're in school. Just respect the school. Go to school. You don't know what you have. Some people was dreaming to have that. You never have that. I saw a lot of generation when they're 17 or 16, they don't want to go to school. Or they say, oh, I don't want to read anymore. I don't want to. I'm like, girl or boy, please get this opportunity. Go to school. It's very important. Imagine somebody give you something to read. You don't know how to read. How difficult that is. It's very, very hard if you don't know how to read. But me, look at me. I never been to school, but look at me. My word is this book. Even me, a lot of people ask me a lot of time, how did you do it? I told them I use Google. Because I couldn't even sit down and then write the phrase without thinking a lot. But imagine you use Google, it was gonna be hard though, but at the same time, I did it.
Yeah. That shows a lot of perseverance to like, even if you weren't given the access to an education system, like you made sure to teach yourself. And a lot of people have to learn how to teach themselves. There's no excuse anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like you not being able to do this and that. You can't even say, I didn't go to school, so I can't write a book. Yes, you can. You can write a book even if you didn't go to school. So that is really amazing. I think a lot of people will be able to take some inspiration from that. Like even if you didn't go like a linear path to succeed, you can still find a way if you're driven enough. So that's amazing. And we're really happy for you.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
What's one thing that you would want people to take away from this book? And then I'll give the panel a chance to ask any questions before we wrap up.
I wanna like this book, people to read it. Like for an example, my dream. I know my dream. I always say this on my other interview. I want Oprah to read this book. That's my dream. I mean,
Oprah.
hopefully she will read my book, and then at the same time Michelle Obama, because I know she writes. That's my dream. So hopefully one day they will read my book, because I keep all the time saying that whenever somebody interview me, I all the time mention that on the interview. So that's my dream. And if I sell this book, the second step, that's what I'm taking. The second step is to help people have drinking water. That's hopefully the thing. That's the main thing, because I mean, I'm working, I'm not saying I'm rich or something, but alhamdulillah, I'm making money to survive. So the money I'm making, it's not a lot, but I'm happy with it. I share that money with my sister and my brother and my family. It helped me a lot to see them have food on the table all the time. It makes me so happy to see them have that.
I think also, like, and I know we've had conversations, like I think one of the things that she also wants people to take away is like she did have a very hard early life, like
my early
very very hard, and she keeps going, and she's kept going, and even throughout now, it's just always something. But I think that's what she wants people to take is like, because I don't think growing up in the village, or she thought she would be where she's at today, I think so. She just really wants people like to take from it to like to keep going, because you will have like, just keep being positive, and good things will come eventually. You know what I mean?
I love that.
And Fatima, it sounds like in the book you talk a lot about kindness guiding you, and it sounds like you've had a tough life, but it sounds like you've been through that whole time. You've stayed kind up to this point. How does kindness play a role in your life? Like, why do you think? Well, first, where do you get it, and why do you think it's important to use it to guide you?
I mean, like all the time be positive at something. If somebody did something to you, don't never get back bad thing. Be always hope, because if you're nice, it's for your own good. If you're not nice, it's for your own good too. So anytime when like you have to become a better person, don't take the back one wrong, because when it happened, it's already happened. Keep going. I used to cry a lot when I was like 15, 16. I used to cry a lot. I used to hide, and sometimes I can't hide for 2 hours. I'm crying somewhere else. Until one day I realized crying doesn't gonna solve this. Let me just be strong and then be hopeful. One day this will go away. Like dreaming, coming to America, I never dream about that, because I know there's no way I was gonna be here in America. But I was like, I just keep praying every time I say, this one happened, let me just be positive. It's gonna go away one day. It's gonna be okay. Just be nice, be you, whoever you are. Don't just take something bad thing. When a bad thing happen, move on. Just keep yourself busy.
That's the African spirit.
Don't let your circumstances change who you are.
I love that. And it reminds me of my mom so much. She always says, I never thought one day I'll be in this America. So when you say that, I just think of my mom. I have a question for you. Like in this book, I want to go home and I want to buy it, of course. But what's next? Like, can we expect another book from you soon? Like, what do you think about your next project is going to be about?
Yeah, I want to write the second one, but I'm waiting a little bit. I want to like first of all do some well with this one, and then when I'm done, I want to go for the second one, because when I write this one, when the person who edited the book, he told me, you want to go for the second one? Just let me know. Actually, they didn't charge me anything. I was so lucky. I didn't pay any penny.
That's good.
Yeah.
I just sit down. The only thing I did is the hard work to write the book. But to pay something, this book to come out, even today, if I want to order the book, I order like a $2. Somebody have to pay for it for me. So you see, that's a blessing.
Yeah.
So I didn't pay anything about it. It just gift. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of your kindness, it came
Yeah.
back to you
Yeah.
tenfold.
Yeah.
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 So, where can we find your book? And also, let us know, both of you, Rugi as well. Like, what's the final thoughts that you guys want people to take away from this book, and how can it impact their lives in a positive way?
I think just like kind of like what I said is just like to keep going, because when you read the book, you'll see like there's so much more in there about like, unfortunately, all the tough times she had to go through. But she is really like genuinely like one of the nicest. Actually, I'm always telling her, you're a little too nice, like, bring it. No. But anyways, she is genuinely like one of the nicest, best people. Like, I don't understand, but I think just that's why she is so blessed, though. Like I think she went through a lot, and her positivity and really. And she's also very religious and really believing in God, and always trying to like look for the positive, the next positive step got her through to where she is today, And I think we all have tough things that happen in life, but I think the theme is just to keep going. And there is probably,
Never give up.
I don't know.
What do you call
The light
it?
at the end of the tunnel,
Yeah.
or like the
pot of gold.
pot of gold.
Is that what you were gonna
That's what I was trying to
say?
say, but I couldn't think.
And where can we find the book?
You can find it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're all gonna buy the book
Yes,
to support
we are.
you.
Yes.
So
Yes,
I can't wait to read it and get a little bit more of the details of the story.
Yeah.
And then maybe the next book will be about your life post coming to America.
Yeah.
your journey here.
My adult
So-
life.
Yeah.
Yes. Love
Yeah,
it.
and I
Yes.
think one of the things too, like I forgot to,
Same-day
we've
delivery.
talked about, but like when she first sent me the book, I was kind of like, oh, like I was like it. I told her, I was like, do you want me to help you re-edit it, because she
her
wrote
voice.
it like in her
Yeah.
thing, and she was like, no, I wanted the book to be like this, because the whole theme was I didn't get to go to school and I didn't get to and I want it to be where it doesn't like, it's not maybe a super easy read, but it's in her words, and she's like, when she writes her second book, then she wants to edit it, but this first book she wanted people to know, like, even though I didn't get the opportunity, I was still able to write this book,
Yeah.
So,
To keep it like authentic.
to keep it authentic, yeah.
That'd be
Now when you
cool.
read the book, you
Awesome.
can hear her voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, because if I read it and it sounded like, like Kawajat or like
Yeah.
white man, I'd be like, who is this?
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the person I met.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense. I love that. I love that.
Well, thank
So
you so
thank
much,
you.
Yes,
Fatima.
thank
We're
you.
so proud and honored to have you. And Rugi, thank you for bringing
Thank
your
you, guys.
aunt. Like, we can't wait to read the book.
Yeah.
And any final thoughts from anybody?
I just want to say, Miss Fatima, I'm really highly encouraged by your story and just hearing you talk, and it's very inspirational. I know for people, they always wish things were a lot easier, but for you, you didn't wish things were easier. You wish you were better, and you became better, and then even more than that. And so, I just want to praise you and encourage you to keep going. Your story is very beautiful, and it's remarkable. Because there are people who look back, but why are you looking back when you're supposed to be going forward? And you've just always kept going forward. And so I'm very thankful for your story. I just have one question. What has inspired you and has kept you pushing through all the adversity up until now? What's something that's kept you going?
When I lost my dad. Yeah. Because I know if I didn't push something good, and then something good won't happen. Yeah, because I know that way. If you lost your mom and your dad, you become like, nah, really good, something bad gonna happen. So I decided, even though I don't have happiness, I was gonna cry all the time, I decided not to get that as bad thing. let me just keep moving. And then I know one day, I was having the hope one day it's going to change. That was my hope. And it did, because even though I'm not rich, I don't have much, I'm happy where I am. Alhamdulillah, I'm happy.
I know your parents are very happy.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a perfect way to end it.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of The Ladies of Sosa. Make sure you go and get Fatima's book, My Early Life. Not only are you supporting an author, but you're also supporting building wells in Guinea and clean
hopefully
water.
A school one day.
Yes, and hopefully a school and so much more. So you guys make sure to go get it. Thank you guys so much. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.